we were gonna see you. We're gonna
Actually, that's great if you did it. I was going to look at the
the old
shooting.
one.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Well, let's look at that first. I have to get to it. Uh, just one moment. All right. Okay. So here are your images. I really like them. Open some of them. Yeah, you did a really nice job. I liked that you looked at different things and tried different things. Um, that's great.
That's my kid.
Who is that?
That's my little one.
Oh, that's great. Hmm. Great timing there.
Oh, I made him jump several times.
Yes, you'll probably be making him do other things too, right?
Yes.
So, to get used to it,
Oh, he
right?
loves it.
What's that?
He loves it. The other one's not so much, but he loves it.
How many children do you have?
Oh, you got cut off your voice.
Sorry. Yeah, the connection. I supposedly have the best, the fastest uh, internet, but it's just terrible, to be honest. So it happens. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay. All right.
that's my daughter.
Yeah. Great. All right. So you got someone else to pose as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Beautiful. Really nice job. Do you have Lightroom? Were you able to get
Yes,
Lightroom?
I do.
Okay, great.
I had Photoshop to begin with, like
Oh, okay. Uh-huh.
the whole. So I didn't even go look for the license because I have the whole package. My son likes to play with it, so
Mm-hmm.
he had it for a couple of years, I think.
Great. And have you used Lightroom?
Mm, no, I mean no.
That's fine. That's great. I mean, the class assumes that you have not, but some people have now and again.
I
So
mean every now and then I get a picture. I have some pictures in there, and I get them in crop it or
right.
simple stuff, but I
Mhm.
don't really. I have used Photoshop because
Uh-huh.
uh, every year, once a year, I do a school project, and I go to YouTube to figure out how to do what I want to do, and that's it.
YouTube is amazing, isn't it?
Yes,
Uh, Thank God for it. And I guess people have a lot more time than I do to invest and post these things that are so helpful. Because a lot of them are not professional, or official postings from Adobe or some,
yeah,
or other things. People just out of the goodness of their hearts, I
yes,
guess, do
yes.
these things.
Most of them are not from Adobe. Actually, I the ones I find, like when I decide what I want to do with a project, I go look for exactly that,
Right, right. Yeah.
and then I find out how
Cool.
to do it. I
Cool.
follow Pat, and then I don't remember until next year when I'm looking for a project again.
Right.
So no Lightroom.
Gotcha. Well, for this class, we use Lightroom Classic.
Mhm.
Okay, because there
Yes.
are two Lightrooms, and the regular, just plain Lightroom, is the Lightroom that you can access on different machines, on your computer, on your phone, on your iPad, or whatever.
Mm.
But for working on the computer, we're using Lightroom Classic.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll just open that up. And so I'm just going to go over making a catalog and and importing images into Lightroom, which you may or may not know, right?
Well, I follow your instructions
Okay, good.
once I realized there was a different Lightroom than one I was using.
Right. Yeah, it can get confusing, definitely.
But
So, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, I think I did, like, I sort of did the catalog as you asked in my computer,
Hmm.
and I don't think I could do it again. But
Okay.
but I'm putting all the pictures I take for
Well,
your class in there.
good. So yeah, as you, I assume saw in the little instructional thing on Canvas, um, the first thing I do and want you to do is to designate an area for Lightroom and for your images. So I have a hard drive, this hard drive that I keep all of my school stuff on, and then I divide it, and it's a mess kind of. But anyway, it's divided, into different photo classes, and then within that, different years and terms and so on. So this is winter 2022. And I've made a folder that says Lightroom Photo 4 Winter 22, and you can make yours, whatever you want. And within it, I made an extra or an additional folder entitled Images. And that's where I'm going to put the images as I import them into Lightroom. And Lightroom will ask me
Yes.
where I want them to go. Right. And this is where I want my catalog to reside as well. In
Oh,
fact,
in Lightroom.
in
Oh,
in this, sorry, go ahead.
is that in the hard drive, like you say, or
Right. So this is an external hard drive.
okay?
So I have this external hard drive. I could put it on my computer's hard drive, but mine on this computer is almost full. So and this way, if I use a different computer or I go somewhere, I have all this information on the external hard drive. So it do you use Apple or PC?
Apple.
Oh, good, because I don't know PCs that well, but I can go over it. But anyway, the when you open a Finder window under locations, all of your things show up. So the hard drive, if you have like anything else on your network. So my daughter's using a different computer, so that's showing up. And anything else that you might have plugged in. For example, I should have my, oops, there. I shouldn't have done that. I have some images that I want to upload for this, so that's untitled. Those will all show up here. So here's my hard drive, my external school hard drive, and that's where I'm going to have this information. So photo 4, winter 22, and obviously you arrange yours as you like. But this is mine, and I'll make another folder for the Lightroom catalog, and that's where I'll tell it to go. Okay. So I do that first, and then begin to open Lightroom Classic, and this list comes up because I have a lot of different catalogs for different classes mostly, and that's what you're seeing here. Um, and I want to create a new catalog. Excuse me. And so this new window comes up, create folder with new catalog, and I already have a folder, but that's okay. I'll say photo for winter 2022. Right? And I want it to go in here. Oops, that's not where I want it to go. Sorry. So photo 4 and winter 2022, Lightroom, and in here in the Lightroom catalog folder that I had just made.
Mhm.
And I hit create. And then Lightroom continues to open, and it will open in this new catalog.
Oh, I don't think I did that. I tried, but I have to do it like completely separate. It's in my computer, and it says Lightroom catalog, I think, or for photography class, I think it's, but it doesn't open from Lightroom, or Lightroom doesn't open it from automatically.
You know what? Let me go over this, and then you can share your screen with me, and we can look
Okay.
at it. Okay. So, and I want to set some preferences before I do anything else. And so here under, the pull down menu up at the top, I'm going to click on preferences, and the general preferences for the most, for most things, I leave the defaults. I don't need to change them. But this is one that I make sure is set. When starting up, use this catalog, and I say prompt me when starting Lightroom, and I do that because I have a lot of catalogs, and I want to be able to choose which one to open. So for you, you could say this, or you might just say load most recent catalog, would be the one that you're using, you know. But and if I wanted a specific one here in my large list of catalogs, if I wanted that to open all the time, then I could select that one to open all the time. But I usually just check prompt me when starting Lightroom. Okay.
Okay.
And then presets, I just leave those generally, um, especially for beginning and even intermediate use. This is fine. Don't have to worry. External editing is something that you want to take a look at. And so you have a choice of file format. So the first part is editing, when you're editing within Photoshop and also Lightroom. So the file format, you have two choices, a TIFF and a PSD. So for Photoshop, I would select PSD because that's a specific Photoshop file. Pro Photo is the color space that you want to use. Adobe RGB is ancient, it's more than 20 years old. sRGB is something that you might want for publication, but for now, photo is good. The depth is such information you're working with, and so you want 6-bit unless your file size, unless it's a JPEG with a small file, that it doesn't much matter. You want 16-bit, and resolution at 300 is good. Some people set it to 240, but 300 is fine. Additional external editor down here, I also set it for 16-bit, but the rest are, they're the same as above. Stacking, that is when you put images together within Lightroom. I would stack with the original. And external file naming, I don't generally name them until afterwards. So I'll leave it at custom setting. If you want your files automatically. You can do that here, but I think it's easier to do it within Lightroom. This is file handling. So a DNG is a universal file format for digital negatives and for RAW. So if you're shooting in RAW, that's the format, one of the formats you can use. JPEG preview, I like to have it full size. That way you scales and so on. If you're short on memory on your computer, you might want to do medium size. This is a pain in Lightroom. File name generation. So Lightroom, for some reason, rejects almost all characters. So question marks, exclamation points, really anything except for a dash. It will take in a dash and a period. And any other character you use as a file name, it will reject. So that's something to keep in mind when you name your images. So for example, for the assignment, which I think you've done already, the bracketing and so on, if you entitle it bracketing and then put a forward slash or a plus sign or equals, and then say that it's overexposed or underexposed, if you use those symbols and then try to load the image into Lightroom, it won't do it. And a box will come up at the end of your import saying these things weren't imported, and that's why. So you have to be really careful how you entitle your files. Interface, this is how you want Lightroom to look. So font size, if you want the screen color to be dark gray or light gray or white or black or whatever, and and so on. And you can fiddle with those if that's something that concerns you. I generally leave it gray. Performance, this is important. Where it says here under camera raw cache settings, maximum size 50 gigabytes. So you want it as large as possible so that Lightroom doesn't slow down to a crawl and start spinning and so on. And that's it for the preferences. Unless you have an external display that, another monitor that you want to set. And then the network, you can set that, but that's more, I think, for use with the regular Lightroom. Don't worry about it. So I'm going to close out of the preferences and then go back to the pull-down menu and select catalog settings. And this I do at the beginning when I first make a catalog, and then I don't have to worry about any of it again. General, backing up your work, and you have a bunch of choices here, and I select every time Lightroom exits, just in case. And usually, even if you don't back it up, it's still there. Lightroom is pretty good about not losing your information, but still, to be safe, I do every time it exits, it backs everything up. And then you need to, if you want to change it, you need to tell Lightroom where you want it saved to. Now you already did that when you made the, when we first made the catalog. So it's here. But if you, for example, wanted to change it, then this is where you could do it. Okay. File handling. Preview size, the auto is the largest size. Preview quality, I like to have it high quality. And this is a big one for me. Automatically discard the previews. And I don't want them discarded. I want to keep them. But if memory is an issue on your computer, or you know you're not going to want to save the previews, you can have Lightroom automatically dump them, because after a while they build up, and they do use, they'll take up a lot of memory. So either go through stuff periodically, which I forget to do, and get rid of them, or you could have Lightroom do it for you. But I'm a hoarder anyway, and so I always set it to never. Metadata is the information about the image that is embedded into each file. So every image you make, of course, is a file, and or is converted to digital information and becomes a file. And the information about that image is stored there. So the camera you used, the settings you used, the date it was made. If you have the GPS turned on, that information as well. And so this is asking you about that. Offer suggestions, sure. Include developed settings and metadata instead of these inside these file types. That's fine. Automatically write changes into XMP. I don't keep that checked. So the XMPs are these little files that are made in addition to the actual image file, and they go along with it. And it's the same metadata and it's then stored in an extra file, and I don't like that. It bugs me. So I don't. Uh, Address lookup, you can have these things looked up and then embedded into the file if you want to. It's up to you. Um, Important ones in general and file handling. Okay, so I'm going to close that out. Then I'm going to quit Lightroom Classic. And so now it's going to ask me if I want it backed up, and I'm going to say, yes, I want it backed up. And then I'll open it again. And all of those settings should be there. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so here's Lightroom, and Lightroom has seven, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different modules. So you can see them listed up here: library, develop, map, slideshow, print, and web, and then this cloud also. And we spend, I at least, and we in this class will spend the vast majority of time in the library and develop modules. So the library is where we will see our images, and we can then divide them. After we've imported them, we can put them into different folders and collections and so on. And this is where you'll see them, in the library. The develop module is where you'll work on the images. So each module is or has the same design. They're structured in the same way. So you see the photo of the image in the middle, and then there are panels on either side. So that's also true. Boy, is this slow today. In the map, and
Oh,
fun. So you can see where your images were made if you had the GPS turned on and so on. And then you can create a book. You can make a slideshow. So you pull the images in and arrange them as you like. But you can see that the structure of each of these modules is the same. Um, so in library, on the left-hand side, it says navigator, and there's nothing there right now because I haven't imported any images yet. And then the catalog, which says 0, because again, I haven't imported anything yet. And then folders, collections, and so on. And on the right-hand side, once we get images in, you'll see information about those images. So the first thing I'll do right now is to actually import images into Lightroom. So on the lower left-hand side, there's a little button that says import. You can also do that up here under the pull-down file menu. But so I'll click on import and a window should come up. And then I have these options, or these, yeah, different options. So here's my hard drive. Apparently I have an update on the, that's ready to be updated also. My external hard drive. And then it says untitled, that's the memory card from my camera that I inserted here that's waiting. And so I can import whatever I want from wherever I want, as long as it shows up on my computer. So right now I want to import from this memory card. I don't even know what's on it. Probably good. Okay. I'll just select this for now. And then I can see all of the images that are on this card in this folder. Up at, sorry. Notice that all of them are checked, and that means they're all selected. And usually I do that, but I might, let's say, just want a few imported, and I don't want, the 200 others that are there. I can come down here below the images where it says check all, uncheck all, and uncheck them all, and then just check the 2 or 3 that I might want to import if I don't want them all. So I can manually select the images that I want if I want to do that. So I will check all. And then over here to the right, I need to tell Lightroom certain things about how, what I want. So there are actually 4 different sections: file handling, file renaming, apply during import, and then destination. So file handling is what Lightroom does. I wanted to build smart previews, and that means that if I'm working on a different computer, if I am working on this computer but have everything stored on my external hard drive and I forget my hard drive, the smart previews are still there, and so I can still work on the images. I also don't import suspected duplicates, because I don't want to keep importing the same things if I forget that I had imported them. I can also tell Lightroom to make a second copy to someplace else on my computer or hard drive. So these images are they're on the camera's memory card. So I have actually not imported them onto my hard drive yet. And I can have Lightroom do that, and that saves me a step of importing them into Lightroom and then importing them again onto my hard drive. So if I want to do that, I can tell Lightroom where I want those images to go. But I'm not going to do that right now because it takes longer. Once I have been working in Lightroom and I have different collections that I made up, if I want these images to also go to a collection, I can designate that here. File renaming, you can have Lightroom rename your files automatically for you. You can do it by, all of these things, or any of them, I should say, and you can also edit it and do your own designations. I tend to leave them they are with the numbers that are assigned by the camera, but you may have reasons to rename them, and that this is a good place to do it because Lightroom will do it for all of the images, and you don't have to go in and manually change each one. Apply during import. So I don't have any of these settings set, because I want to be able to work on my images. But if you know that this whole set of your images needs something done, or you want something done, this is a good place to do it because, again, Lightroom will apply this to every image in this particular import. So you can do that. There are presets that we'll look at another time. You can convert to black and white, but I like to have it as I shot it, work on it myself. Metadata. So this is where you can put your personal information into each image. And so let's look at this. Okay, edit presets. Okay. So when you go into this, a window opens up, and then you can add information, and this information will be embedded into every image file that you are importing. So I don't put the basic info here because then I have to write every name and so on, and give a rating if I want to, but I'm not for right now. For myself, what I am concerned with is the copyright information. Now, your images are copyrighted to you regardless. But most photographers like to state that anyway, and embed the information into each image. So the copyright would be your name or my name. Copyright status, copyrighted. Right usage terms. I usually put something, words to the effect of not to be produced without the permission of the artist, something like that. Okay. Copyright info URL. If you have a website that you want to put in, you can do that here. The creator is generally you. Again. Oh, look, I spelled my name correctly. That's so bad. So you can put, your address if you want. I don't like to put my address and phone number in. And that's just, because I'm slightly paranoid. But you can put it in if you want. I do So sorry, put my email in. And my website isn't up right now, but I would put it there, um, and so on. And you can put other information, as much or as little as you want. You don't have to do it at all, but you can. So save as cdas new. And so I've created that. Now it shows up here under metadata, and that information will be embedded in every image. Keywords are words that are associated with and are attached to each file. So you want to be careful about how what words you apply, because those applied to every image that you are importing. So you don't want to be too specific if the images you're importing have different subjects or were shot in different places, or at different times. So I could say that maybe I just want to import a certain number here, and they are, let's see, so I could put moon. And then, okay, uncheck all. And then just select those particular images. And then finally, and probably in some ways the most importantly, the destination. So where you want these images to be imported to. And so we made that folder, right? And so we have to find it. So here again are different places that show up on the computer. So here's the computer's hard drive. Here's my external hard drive. Here's the memory card. And I want the images to go onto my external hard drive. And again, I designated that particular folder, which I now have to find. So it's on the hard drive. It's in Photo 4, and it's in Winter 2022, and it's in Lightroom. Wait, where'd it go? It's in Lightroom. And then finally, the folder I made that says images. Now, you probably don't want to embed it so deeply in your hard drive that it's like this, where it's a pain to find. You probably want it more obvious. But anyway, I finally this is where I want my images to go. Within that folder that I made, the Lightroom folder, and in that folder that says images. Now it'll show how many images I'm going to import, 54 out of 624. And all I do now is click import, and assuming all goes well, it'll import the images into Lightroom, and of course into that images folder. And I only selected a relatively small number, because if I had selected all 600 odd images, we'd be sitting here for a long time waiting for them to load. But you can see there's a progress bar up on the upper left. It says copy and import photos. And then this will always come up. Non-RAW files were not converted to DNG. So if you were importing JPEGs in, they would not be converted to DNG, or the digital negatives. file format. And so I'll say, okay. And then it will continue to process the images and pull them into Lightroom. And hopefully it won't take too long. But when it's done, they will show up here below this navigator image under catalog. And so this shows the current catalog that is open. And eventually all 54 will be in here. And it says previous import, and there's only one, obviously, right now. But as you import more images into Lightroom, that will obviously change. Folders, so this is showing where the images are. And then collections. And collections are things that I can make. They're virtual lists of images. So the images, whatever I do with them in Lightroom, making collections or temporary lists or what have you, the images are never actually moved. They never leave that folder that I made. And so everything that we do in Lightroom is, it's not exactly virtual, but it doesn't actually affect the image itself. The images remain intact. And that's a really nice thing about Lightroom as opposed to Photoshop, which you've worked in. In Photoshop, every change that you make actually changes the file, the image. And so if you like what you've done, well, first of all, you should always work on a copy so that you keep your original image intact. And you work on a copy in Photoshop, and as you do different things and apply filters and so on, that image, the actual information in the file is changed and usually added to. And if you want that image to remain as you have made it, you have to save it. And as you do different things, you might want to save different versions of it. And each version has to be saved as a different version. And that can take up a tremendous amount of space on your hard drive. The nice thing about Lightroom is that you never actually change the image. It's as if you put a piece of clear acetate over the image and you sketch in these changes that you're doing, making it lighter or darker, changing the color, temperature, any number of things. Those are sort of sketched on, not really, but, and Lightroom makes note of everything. It records all of this information, but it saves that information separately. And then it reapplies it to the image when you open it up. So that information is never lost unless you yourself discard it. But it doesn't weigh it down, you might say. It doesn't take up all that space. And as with Photoshop, you can save different versions, but they're different versions of these instructions that have been written down. Another really nice thing about Lightroom is that they remain. In Photoshop, when you quit out of Photoshop, everything you've done, that whole list of things that you've done disappears and never to be seen again. With Lightroom, every time you open it up, the list of what you've done opens with it. So you can always see what the different steps of what you've done. Okay, so that's part of my spiel on the advantages of Lightroom. This is almost done, and you can see it's pretty slow, and that's mostly because my hard drive is so full, and I've been trying to pare it down, but okay, so smart previews were built or already exist for 54 photos. And I'll hit OK. Yes, OK. And then my images are here in this catalog. So these are the images that I imported. And you can see, oh, it's still building the previews. Well, anyway, the image that's selected will show up here in the navigator on the left-hand side. If you don't want to see it, you can close it. I like to see it, but if you don't want to see it, you can just close that up. And you can select how large or small you want to view it. So if you double click on the image, not very good image, but if you double click on it, then it selects it as an individual image. And you can see that the cursor becomes a plus sign. And so if you click it once, it comes in close. And in the navigator window, it will show you where you are. And you can move that around if you want to. Above the navigator window, you'll see these numbers and the word fit. And so you can determine how much magnification you want when you come in close. So if I don't want it at 200%, maybe I want it at 100%. Then when I click on this, it goes to 100 instead of 200. If I want it to come in even closer than 200, I can adjust that. So that's what these numbers are for. If I want it under 100, if I want it to back out further, I can do that as well. Fit goes back to the entire, the full frame. And then if you double click on the image, again, it goes back to this view, which is called the, sorry, this is in the way. Just a moment. Here we go. So this is the grid view. And if you look just below where the images are, there are these different icons. Can you see those?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me get my glasses still.
Yeah.
But it'll be easier to see them with my glasses.
Definitely. So just below the window where the images are, there are these icon things, and those are showing the different views that you can have. So this is called the grid view, and if you've just got one image selected and you want to go back to that grid view, you can either click on this little icon, or you can hit the letter G on the keyboard. So G for grid view, and it shows you that here if you put your cursor over that little icon. It says grid view G. And then the next is the loop view, and it's called loop because way back when we used action film and slides, a loop is a little magnifier that you can put over the slide so you can view it more closely. So the loop view is this one here. It's also the letter E. And then if you want to go back to the grid view, you can hit G again. If you want to compare two images, you can select them. So I've selected one, and then I use the command key, hold it down, and select another image. And they don't have to be too contiguous. They don't have to be touching each other. And then this third little choice down here is the compare view, and you can use the letter C for that, and then you can look at them side by side. I should also tell you that, I mean, these are really small. I can hardly see them with my glasses on. If you look at the Lightroom window as a whole, on either side, in fact, all four sides, have a little triangle. And if you click on that, it will get rid of those panels.
So you'll see them bigger.
You can see them bigger. And then if you click again, they'll come back. Okay, and to get out of that, you can hit that again, you know, just click on it again. If you want to compare more than two images, let's say this one and this one and maybe that one and that one. Then this next view, which is called the survey view, or letter N, will allow you to see more than two.
Oh.
Go away. It will also let you get rid of some if you don't, you know, if you think, oh, I didn't want that one after all. You know, then a little, as you put your cursor over the image, a little X comes up and you can get rid of that. So that can be cool. And to get out of it, you again, you know, just click on that little icon again, and you get out of it.
In down here, sorry, just I had the monitor and my camera is in the computer, but this is all the slides, right at the bottom.
All the what?
All the slides. I don't know if there's called, all the pictures are in here, like in the slide.
Oh yeah, that's the, I guess it's the slide view.
Oh, okay.
And you can determine what you want to see down there.
Oh.
So this little triangle, if you, those are the view modes, and you can have as many or as few as you want controls over over what you see and how you mark them up and so on. Okay, so I can see this here, number one. I'll talk about those next time, but okay. So any questions on that?
No, I think there's I retain probably 20%, but
well, understood. And so I am recording this, and I'll post the recording on Canvas, and most of, if not all, of what I've said should be in that, you know, in the stuff that's already posted on Canvas in the that first, I think it's actually second module, because it's a lot, absolutely, and this is just the beginning, right? It's a lot of information, and very few of us would absorb, you know, a lot of it at one time. And the way to cement it really is to keep doing it, you know, in Lightroom, and to go through it, and to look at what we've done, and to experiment with other stuff, and remember that you're not going to kill it. You're not going to destroy your images. You know, they're always there, so you don't have to worry about that. Just
but I have a question. Lightroom will be used just as a tool for extra stuff, right? The purpose would be to shoot the picture, right?
The purpose of Lightroom, or
no, the purpose of like us learning to shoot right?
So the purpose
Well,
of the class is to learn to shoot and to learn to work in Lightroom.
okay.
So in Lightroom, once the images are in, we'll learn different things we can do to the images. Um, basic adjustments of light and dark, uh, somewhat more complex things, working with color temperatures, different types of light and adjusting for that, adjusting specific areas of the image. So you probably did that, or you possibly did that in Photoshop, burning and dodging, adding color or exposure, whatever, to different specific areas of the image. Um, there are a number of things that we can do, and we'll be learning the basics of those things this class. And then in Photo 5, if you go on, I hope that you all do, to intermediate digital photography, we go more in depth into Lightroom and other things that you can do in Lightroom.
Okay.
But this class and also two of the other beginning classes uh, offer or go over the same basic information, how the cameras work, how you make adjustments in the cameras, and why.
Yes, I have trouble with my camera, um, because I had it for a while, but I never really learned how to use
Gotcha.
it.
Okay, hang on one sec. Let me finish up one more
Oh,
thing,
yes, yes.
and then let's go to that. So you can kind of rate your images in different ways. So let's say I think this one is like the best one here. If you look down below the image panel, there are these stars, and I can rate or rank the images by giving them stars. So I love this one. I mean, I'm pretending, but uh, oops, that's not what I meant to do. Let's see to get out of that. So this image here, I'll do it here. I think it's great.
Okay.
So I'm giving it 5 stars. Um, this one I think is really not very good. It's way too dark. But let's say I don't want to dump it completely, which I could do. I'll give it 1 star. You know, if I want to single it out for some reason known only to me, I can flag it. So there's a flag here. So maybe I'm going to designate images that I think are pretty crappy, but I'm not going to actually dump with a flag, like so. And so these images will have flags. And I can get rid of the flag just by clicking on the flag again. Hmm. Come on. All right. So there are also these colors, and you can use them for whatever you want, but I usually designate the ones that I like best as red. So let's say I like this one and this one. I can click on this red button here, and now these selected images are, have red. And I may say, let's see, that ones I want to use for class, for whatever reason, I'll make green. And now these ones are green, and I can make as many or as few as I want, red or green or these other colors. And it's up to you what you use them for, what your designations are, however you want to do it. Yeah, So I find that useful, helpful. And I can then make collections of these images depending on what I've, the ratings I've used and the way I have sorted them. So I have all these images that I imported, um, and I can make a collection of a certain number of them if I want to. So over here on the left, below where it says folders, it says collections. And if I want to make a collection, I click on the plus sign, and then I can create just a collection. So I can do this and name it whatever I want, test. Include selected photos. That's a good idea to select them first. But if you then want to add to the collection, you can just drag and drop the images to this collection. So now my test collection has shown up under collections.
Okay.
And and I just had one selected, so that's it. But I can go back to all of my images, and let's say I think, oh, well, I want this one in there too. So I can drag it over here. Hang on, let me get back to it. To the test, you see it lights up, and now I have 2 images in here. So I can add to the collection if I want. I can also make something called a smart collection. And a smart collection is a collection that is made up of things that have designations that you want. So I can choose what I want. So match these rules. The first is rating. So the rating, that's the stars. So greater than or equal to, and I think I selected
Freeze.
a couple with 3. So now this collection will have the images that I designated with 3 stars, and any others that I in the future give 3 stars to or more will also automatically go into this collection. Maybe I want more than just stars, so I can do a color, and is red or whatever color I want. And now, in order to get into smart collection, it has to have 3 stars or more and be red. So that probably means I'll only have 2. Well, 1. That's right, because only one of the 2 red ones have 3 stars. But if I then go back in and think, wait a minute, this one is wonderful. I'm going to give it 4 stars, and I think that it should fall into, my best ever category. I'm going to make it red. Now, when I go down to, well, presumably, yeah. So now, that's strange. Oh, that's test. I'm sorry. Smart collection. Now the smart collection has the 3-star one that originally was there, and now it has the 4-star one. And I didn't put it there. I didn't drag it there. It went there automatically because it met those rules. And so you can make whatever rules you want, and as many collections as you want. Because again, these are just lists. The images aren't actually being placed into these different areas. Okay. So, any questions on Lightroom up to this point?
No, I don't. I mean, I'm sure I'll have plenty once I
Right. All right. Well, cool. I'm going to end the recording then, and then we can, you know, talk some more. But this ends the record portion of the intro to Lightroom. So this has been an I'm so sorry, how to create a catalog and how to import images into Lightroom. Right. So sorry.
I don't mind.
Um,